All right, let's dive right into this explainer and crack the case of a highly common bacteria that's secretly living in our daily meals. If you think you know exactly what you're eating every day, well, you might want to brace yourself. We're looking at a microorganism that is practically everywhere, yet its actual impact on our bodies is still one of the most intriguing puzzles in food science.
So here's the crazy thing. Right now, your fridge is likely hosting a highly adaptable microscopic stowaway. And we aren't just talking about rare, exotic foods here. We're talking about the basic staples you pick up from the grocery store every single week. It's a water-loving organism that easily finds its way onto a staggering variety of what we consume.
Which brings us to our core mystery. With this bacteria literally everywhere, are we completely safe, or is it a hidden threat just waiting to strike? I mean, if we're eating it all the time, shouldn't we be getting sick all the time? That's exactly the riddle scientists have been trying to solve for decades, and the answers we have so far are absolutely fascinating.
Section 1. Meet the suspect.
So who exactly is our suspect? Okay, I know this is a lot of scientific jargon, but basically, Aeromonas is a highly adaptable, rod-shaped bacteria. When scientists call it psychrotrophic, they just mean it absolutely loves the cold, which makes it perfect for surviving in your refrigerator. And facultatively anaerobic, that just means it's incredibly flexible. It can thrive whether there's oxygen around or not. It's a true survivor.
Now, while there are a bunch of different types within this family, there are three main motile species that scientists are closely tracking when it comes to food safety: A. hydrophila, A. caviae, and A. sobria. If there's a foodborne lineup, these are the three prime suspects standing right under the glaring lights.
But what's really wild is that official texts actually admit the role of this bacteria in human illness remains totally unclear. There's an ongoing scientific dispute about its exact placing. While we do know certain species cause infections in fish and humans, proving it as a definitive foodborne pathogen makes this a true biological cold case.
Section 2. The food poisoning mystery.
So if the evidence is disputed, why even suspect it's causing harm? Well, there's been mounting circumstantial evidence since the 1970s. It's consistently found at the scene of the crime. Investigators have isolated it in patients with food poisoning when absolutely no other pathogen was present. It triggers a clear immunological response, it's proven to cause disease in lab animals, and it's routinely found in the types of foods associated with outbreaks. The circumstantial evidence is incredibly strong. But wait, here's the massive twist. The contamination numbers in our food can occasionally exceed a staggering 100,000 per gram. That's 10 to the power of 5. Just imagine that for a second. A single gram of the food you're eating could be carrying over 100,000 of these specific bacteria.
With such massive amounts being consumed, seemingly with zero detrimental effect on our health, we really have to ask, why are food poisoning reports from this actually surprisingly rare? We're literally swallowing armies of this bacteria daily, yet the vast majority of us feel absolutely fine. How is the human body just shrugging this off?
Let's look at Section 3. Weapons and symptoms.
When it does actually strike, it usually causes a mild, self-limiting, cholera-like illness. We're talking watery stools and a mild fever. But there's a darker side. A less common, but much more severe dysentery-like variant can occasionally occur, marked by blood and mucus. It's usually mild, sure, but it definitely has the potential to get pretty serious.
To understand why it only strikes sometimes, you have to look at its arsenal. Its ability to cause these symptoms depends entirely on whether the specific strain can produce specific virulence factors. Think of these as the bacteria's microscopic weapons, like heat-sensitive enterotoxins, beta-hemolysin, and hemagglutinins. If the bacteria doesn't have these specific weapons equipped, it basically can't hurt you.
And here is a totally fascinating breakthrough in our mystery. Just because you eat the bacteria from cold food doesn't mean it can survive or produce toxins once it hits your warm body temperature. The ability to produce those microscopic weapons is tightly linked with temperature. So, a bacteria that's thriving in your cold milk might completely lose its ability to attack once it enters the warm 98.6-degree environment of your body.
Because the infective dose is likely very high, meaning you'd have to ingest a massive amount of the right toxin-producing strain at the exact right temperature, severe illnesses are generally limited to specific vulnerable groups. Children, adults over 50, and immunocompromised individuals are the ones who really need to be careful here, since their immune systems might not easily fight off the invasion.
Section 4. Where does it hide? You might want to mentally check your grocery list during this next part. The main source is right in the name of its most famous species, Aeromonas hydrophila, which literally translates to water-loving. It thrives in water,
And yes, that includes well-documented outbreaks in chlorinated and potable drinking water. This contaminated water then splashes and spreads, cross-contaminating our food supply from the ground up.
So it's incredibly ubiquitous in nature. It's hanging out in seafood, raw meat, poultry, your glass of milk, and even fresh vegetables and salads. It's widely distributed in animals like cows, and occasionally it's even carried by humans. Honestly, it's virtually impossible to completely avoid it.
But the crucial takeaway, and honestly, another bizarre twist in this whole case, is that despite contaminating almost everything on our plates, the actual reported sickness is almost exclusively traced back to a couple of specific seafoods, primarily prawns and oysters. Why these specific shellfish are the main culprits for actual human illness remains a really compelling part of the mystery.
Section 5. Neutralizing the threat. So how do we disarm it? Well, it has a wide temperature range, growing happily from a fridge-chilling 2 degrees Celsius up to an optimal 28 degrees. It also survives a huge pH range, but it has two massive weaknesses. It absolutely hates salt, and it is incredibly heat-sensitive. Heating it to just 48 degrees Celsius destroys it in a mere 3 to 6 minutes. Which means defeating it is actually pretty straightforward. By simply utilizing standard pasteurization or equivalent heat treatments, we easily destroy it. Or formulating foods with greater than 4.5% salt completely stops its growth. The food industry uses these simple, effective hurdles to neutralize the threat long before it ever reaches your plate. Ultimately, the mystery is still open. Aeromonas is a brilliantly adaptable survivor that we unknowingly consume almost every single day, yet usually with zero consequences. Science knows it's there, we know it can be dangerous under the exact right conditions, but for the most part, our bodies and our modern food preparation methods keep us entirely safe.
Which leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought about our meals. If something as prevalent as Aeromonas is coating our food, and we're just now really understanding its complex relationship with our bodies, what other mysterious microscopic stowaways are we dining with every single day? Stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.